if you save your money in Bitcoin, well, in a year from now, if your money is saved in Bitcoin, you'll have more freedom. Whereas with dollars, you're going to have to keep working harder and harder and faster to make more dollars to pay for the exact same thing that you were buying. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Why Bitcoin podcast, the podcast where we question everything, but mainly why Bitcoin. My name is Jeff. I don't say my last name online. I don't know why. Probably because I'm scared.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. Some people say their last names online. A lot of
Dude,
people do.
I've been cyber stalked. I wouldn't do it.
Okay, see, so, but one thing I read was that once you give out your full name, which I mean, if anybody does, or if anybody wants to know who I am, they can figure out who I am. But either way, it's like once you say your full name online, then your opinions are yours and you can speak more freely and like people just know that's you. Whereas we're still kind of anonymous people. Maybe it's good to be anonymous still. I don't know. I'm joined here.
I'm not big enough to be not anonymous. So.
Exactly. But one day maybe.
Someday.
Right? Just two anonymous dudes with a big giant, like McCormack, for example, right? He's just Peter McCormack. So
yeah, but he's like a millionaire, dude. He can afford security.
But his podcast just started as a nothing podcast.
I think he was wealthy before the podcast.
Maybe. Okay.
I could be wrong, but anyways.
I'm here to finich the intro with my wonderful co-host, Doug, who you've already
I've been downgraded
heard.
to wonderful this week, huh?
No, dude, I did some Googling for some good adjectives, but I spelt it out the way I was supposed to pronounce it, and then I didn't space out the letter. I was going to use pus. No, I don't know what it is. I had a good word. I'll tell you next time.
Okay.
You know what a bad word is? My mom called me as I was talking to her about Bitcoin and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you're just so lackadaisical," and I'm like, "What? You can't call me lackadaisical."
What a great word!
I didn't know what it meant. Obviously, because I don't know what anything means. And then I Googled it, and it was the most like worst thing you could call somebody. I was like, "Oh, you just hurt my feelings."
It's not that bad.
That's a terrible thing to call your son. Would you call your child lackadaisical?
Depends on the situation. I would say you're being lackadaisical. I wouldn't necessarily say you are lackadaisical. But
do you think it's a good definition for me? It says lacking enthusiasm and determination, carelessly lazy. Like, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, yeah, I don't know you well enough to say that to you without.
It was pretty rough.
Fight, so
I'm carelessly lazy.
Carelessly lazy. Are you though? I don't
know. I have two modes where I'm either on or off for sure. So when I'm off, people really don't like me. Sometimes I get that way. Okay. We are two guys that are talking about Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can be known as being financial, but nothing that I'm going to say is or you is financial advice at all. If you listen to what we say and then you take financial advice from us, then you're foolish. Stop being so lackadaisical, carelessly lazy.
It's just lackadaisical. It's not laxadaisical.
I think there's an S in it, lackadaisical.
We need a producer. We need somebody to like look this shit up.
It'd be nice, to have somebody just Googling while we're talking. Lackadaisical.
Nope. No S. Looked it up.
No, okay. Well, I thought it. It's fine. I made a new word. Okay. That's enough of an intro. That was a pretty clean intro, I'd say.
That was an awful intro.
I liked it. Okay. I thought it was good.
That's because you're lackadaisical.
I have a heartwarming story from my son and I that we went out walking. Do you want to hear about it?
I would love to hear a heartwarming. I could use a heart. I think everyone could use.
I don't know if it's actually. I don't know if this is heartwarming or not, but to me it was heartwarming. I'll say it quickly. This was very funny to me. It was a proud moment as a father. So we're walking to the park. My son is 3 years old. He loves the park, and we're going down a side street. Side streets are very like no cars on the road, and a big cop car pulling up to us coming down an adjacent side road. And my son, he loves cop cars and police cars and fire trucks, ambulances, all that stuff. So he's like, "Oh, police car." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Wave to the policeman, whatever. So he waves. The policeman waves back, and since it's a side road, the policeman decides to slow down to a stop to say hello to my son, to be like, "Hey, I'm a nice police officer." so so I'm like, "Grayson, say hi to the police." Or no, I say hello. So he says hello. And then I say, "And what drives in a police car?" And he goes, "A pig." And it made me
No,
so
no,
happy, dude.
shut up.
It made
It
me
did
so
not.
happy. It
He
did
really
make
did
me
that?
happy. He did it. And
The cop
so
heard him say that?
the cop heard him say it, chuckled, and just shook his head, which was awesome. Because I wanted to tell the cop, okay, first off, I think it's hilarious that I got him to say that. Um, I don't know what that says about me as a parent, but I think it's funny. But there's a reason behind it, okay? It wasn't my fault. Well, it was
Oh,
my fault.
do tell, sir.
So he has puzzles that he does. And one of his puzzles, where he learned about the different vehicles on the road, have different animals driving these vehicles. So there's a giraffe driving an ambulance and a fox driving a fire truck. And then the puzzle has a pig driving the
Shut
police
up.
car. I swear
Seriously?
it's so awesome. And I was like, this is the best puzzle ever. I don't know who designed it, but they definitely, like, that's on purpose, right? It has to be on purpose.
Yeah, I doubt that's a mistake. Not in this
Uh,
day and age.
yeah, so I was just like, this is awesome. So I was hoping to get him to say, what noise does a police officer say? And he goes,
Oh,
oink, oink. Could you imagine? It's
oh
pretty awesome.
man.
What's a cop gonna do? It's a 3 year old kid, man. I just got this stupid shitting grin on my face, like, sucker. He's trying to be nice. I don't like. I'm not a fan of cops. I don't know if I've made that
You have
point on
made
this
that
podcast
very
before.
clear, and I tend to agree with you, but I mean that's just
That's just
mean. That's just
mean to
mean.
who? Who
To
is
the
it mean
cop.
to? Why is it mean to the
He's still a
cop?
human being, man. I don't
Well,
know. I
not
don't know.
really. Not
Look, I
according
don't
to
want
my
to interact
son.
with him either. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know.
I thought it was funny, man. I thought it
All
was
right,
pretty good.
all right.
But is that heart? It might be heartwarming, or it might just be. I don't know if it's hate speech or.
Not a hate speech. I don't believe in hate speech.
Yeah, so it's just I thought it was funny, man. I thought it was funny. I
Nah,
just
you're
thought I'd
fine.
open with that.
You know what? Do whatever you want, man. I don't care. Honestly, whatever. The whole
That's
world
good.
is falling apart. We're all gonna be dead in 2 years. Doesn't matter.
Whoa,
No one
okay,
wants to
okay.
listen to us
Easy.
anyways. Fuck it.
Easy. Jeez, you're going too far. You're going too I
Sorry.
gotta reel you back, man.
Sorry, man.
I've been watching a lot of prepping videos on YouTube now, and I'm like, oh my god. I am not prepared. Are you
No.
prepared?
No.
I want to be a prepper, but I'm like too lackadaisical to be a prepper. I'm on, like, I don't. It's like, okay, the first thing you should have is a flashlight, and I'm like, I don't even have a flashlight
Here,
in
you
my
know what?
house.
I'm gonna send you a copy of or a link right here. I'm gonna send it. You need to watch this one because it's this guy who built a cabin in the woods and it's like
Okay,
just super zen. I love watching this guy. So his name is Bush Radical. It's called Life in an Off Grid Cabin. It's really cool. So I mean, don't watch it
nice.
now, obviously, but
Okay, we'll post it in the links
yeah,
below
yeah,
as well.
yeah. Remind me to post that in the description.
I've also seen a video, or there's a series on YouTube. This is we're already way off topic, but there's a series. Oh, maybe I already told you this. There's a series on YouTube where a guy bought an old mining town. Like he bought the whole town,
Mm, you
and he just
mentioned it,
lives
but
there by
you
himself.
never sent me the link. I don't think.
Okay, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link. It's pretty cool. But yeah, prepping is important because the world is going to explode for sure. So
Prepping
Bitcoin
is
is
important just because it makes sense. Like we've seen so many examples of why it's like preppers got a bad name for a long time, but then you start to have stuff like where in Texas you have a freak like blizzard and power goes out for 3 days. You should prep for that. You see volcanoes on islands and just all sorts of crazy crap. Like you never know. There's nothing wrong with prepping. I
yeah, I
I've
agree.
never. I mean, I know several preppers, and I think it's a good idea. I just it's one of those things where you have to kind of be committed to it. It's sort of a lifestyle, man. It's sort of like it's a whole different mindset, you know.
It is. It
So
really is. See, my theory is just if I can just stack enough Bitcoin, then that'll be my prep. because then I'll be able to accumulate what I need after the apocalypse. I'm hoping
Well,
that that works
one would
out.
hope, but it wouldn't hurt to have like flashlights. You
Yeah,
know,
flashlight's
you
probably a good
shouldn't you
idea.
shouldn't have to trade your Bitcoin for flashlights. That seems like a waste.
Well, I mean, eventually, yeah, eventually
So,
we'll be trading everything for Bitcoin. But yeah,
oh yeah,
flashlights,
oh yeah, dude.
canned food. I don't like canned food either, so that's gonna have to.
I like stew. I like Dinty Moore stew.
I don't know. I was a kid and I think we had stew once and I was like, this is not good. And you know when you have something as
Oh,
a kid and you just never want to have it again? I should probably
mhm.
try stew again.
Try Dinty Moore stew, dude. There's something about it. I just love it. I love
This
that.
is a name brand stew.
Mhm. Mhm. It
Okay,
might
I'll
be an
look it up.
American thing. I don't know, dude. It's so
Everything's an
weird
American
talking to you
thing.
sometimes because I never know, like, if you know what like, if you're familiar with what I'm gonna say.
No,
Like
I don't
I
know
bring up
anything
stuff
you're
like
talking
Dinty
about.
Moore stew, and you're like, I've never heard of that, eh? It's like,
We have Campbell's soup.
well, yeah, Campbell's is, but their
Okay,
stew
Campbell's is
sucks.
everywhere. Okay.
Campbell's sucks, honestly.
What else?
Their
We have
stew.
something
I
called
love their
Chunky.
chicken noodle soup though. The chicken noodle soup is great, but I'm not a fan of their stew. Dude, we're not even remotely onto Bitcoin right now.
This is
We just
all to Bitcoin. You need to have stew in a post-Bitcoin world because everything else is not going to. Everything is Bitcoin. Don't worry. Okay, I want to let's get into it, man. I
Yeah.
have something to talk to you about because I actually have
Oh,
a
you know
couple.
what? No, we got to let's do some
Oh,
housekeeping, man. Let's do some
okay.
housekeeping.
The
So, all right,
housekeeping.
find us at whybitcoinpodcast.com. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. And Jeff and I were just talking about it before we started the show here. This will be the last episode on YouTube. I will put it on YouTube one last time just to kind of let everyone know. But we've had, I don't know, I think we're getting shadow banned because we talked about the Rona. Uh, but be that as it may, in the last 4 episodes, we've had like 3 or 4 views. So the amount of work that and I don't do a ton of work, but it still takes a little, it puts a little extra on my plate that I don't necessarily
The
need. Like,
ROI is just not working out.
the ROI is not worth it. Like, no, but seriously, just processing a video, it takes me like 2 hours. And like not even just editing it, just processing it and then uploading it. That's another hour that I have to make sure it works. Like so. So,
Well,
anyways,
it comes down to if anybody's listening to this somewhere and they really, really love watching us on YouTube, then let us know, I guess,
yeah, if
because
if I get some comments that in the YouTube this week that's like, "Hey, I really need you to put it here because I can't get access to Spotify or Google Podcasts or any of the other, half dozen things we're part of," then fine. I'll keep doing it. I'll do it for one person. If one person asks, I'll keep doing it.
we're only talking to one person, so we're
Well,
just
I'm
doing
just
it for
talking to
one.
you.
Yeah, I want you to put.
Yeah.
I want you to put it on YouTube for me.
It doesn't count if you put the comment in. So,
Okay, that's fair.
and I'll know it's you even if you get like a fake account and go in and try to do it because you'll spell something wrong or you'll use like you'll spell like something like, wait, what was the word your mom called you? Ram
Lackadaisical.
lack Yeah, you'll spell it lackadaisical with an S and I'll be like, that's fucking Jeff. I know it. So
Spelling is not my forte, dude.
no,
I
that's fine.
actually I I turned off autocorrect on my phone years ago too. So people will text me and there's every word is spelled wrong and typoed because I'm not good at typing on a touchscreen still. And I just don't fix it because I hate autocorrect. And lots of people say they hate autocorrect. All you have to do is turn it off. People can deal. People can deal.
It's
It's way
true.
more fun.
Yeah.
So I recommend turning
Some
off
words come out
autocorrect.
pretty good though, to be honest. Now, do you turn off autocomplete too, or just?
Yeah, dude. Just everything's off.
Oh, so you
My
should at least leave on autocomplete and then really have the trifecta of craziness going on. That'd be good.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah, everything's off. So it's just me. It's just whatever I hit, whatever buttons I push is what the person's gonna read.
Fair
So
enough.
it gets pretty messy sometimes.
Hey, what are two guys talking about this week, man?
Okay, so two guys are talking about something called orange pilling. Now, let's remember that this podcast is created for the pre-coiner. If you're listening to this and you're a Bitcoiner and you're all in, then I appreciate you listening. But we want to go back to basics and really explain some of the very simple ideas behind what Bitcoin is. And orange pilling, as it were, is a term that you're going to come across, whether you're being orange pilled, whether you are orange pilled, or whether you have orange pilled someone. So me and Doug here are, I guess, one of our, I mean, and this is what we'll have to talk about. Is one of our goals of this podcast to orange pill someone?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you'd say yes.
Hmm.
Whereas I don't think we're orange pilling, but maybe we're just one. I guess I guess being a touch on it is part of the orange pill process. So let's just
Well,
break it down. What does
let's.
orange pilling mean to you?
Yeah, I
What
think we
is
need
it?
to go back to the actual pilling idea.
Yeah. Do you want to
Uh,
do you want to explain what it
yeah,
means to you?
so pilling comes from. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't always get all the lingo that the kids are on these days. Uh, but pilling comes from the movie The Matrix, right? So Morpheus. By the way, guys, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie.
Dude, wait, you know what though? I actually just started watching it last week and we're only halfway through.
Well,
So I
then why don't
whatever.
you just take your headsets off for the next 5 minutes,
No,
and
you just tell me. It's
I'll
fine.
just.
Whatever.
All right. So if you haven't seen it, too bad. You're about to learn it. So Morpheus gets Neo into a room, and they're talking by themselves. And this is before Neo gets out of the Matrix, and he says, you can take the blue pill, you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, you believe whatever you want. This is just a dream. But the red pill takes you down the rabbit hole. Red pill shows you how the world really is. So that started as sort of a meme many years ago, where people that began to understand how things actually worked in the world, especially when it came to power structures, money manipulation, all that stuff, they became what was known as red pilled. And since then, there's been a lot of new pills on the market, as it were. It's a veritable cornucopia of pharmacological uh, processes that are now out on
That
the
was a
market.
good sentence.
Thanks. I came up with that on the spot. So you got things like black pilled. Black pilled is where basically you've kind of been red pilled, but you've sort of taken this nihilistic approach. You've seen what's behind the curtain, as it were, and everything is awful now. So you don't expect anything good to come in the future, because everything is bleak, and the ruling class will be the ruling class forever, and there'll be no way around it, and we're all just automatons. We're all just batteries for the machine, right?
Ooh,
There's
I lived
something.
that. I lived that for a long time
Yeah,
then without
there's
knowing
white
what it was.
pilling, which is kind of. I'm not entirely clear on white pilling, but I think it's kind of just like the polar opposite of black pilling, where you it might be like religious or spiritually based. I'm not entirely sure, but it's at least a more positive spin off the red pill, right? So red pill is you just wake up, and then black pill and white pill are what you do with the information once you've woken up. So orange pilling, do you want to take it from there?
Yeah, so orange pilling to me would be once you really start diving deep down into the Bitcoin rabbit hole, wherein you realize what the future is going to be once Bitcoin takes off, or even that it has taken off. So I don't know. Is it true that, like, I think orange pill, like, I don't think anybody can orange pill somebody else. I think you have to orange pill yourself. And I think that's the main factor in it. But yeah, to be orange pilled is like, I think I'm overdosed on orange pills right now. I only see the world as a Bitcoin world. And,
I think it's more than that, to be honest. I
okay, what
think
do you think?
I think you're right in the sense that you have to orange pill yourself. But even Morpheus says that, right? He says all I can do is I can show you the door, but you have to open it, right? And
Uh,
so I think if you're orange pilling somebody as a verb, let's say, I think what you're doing is you're showing them the door. Like you're they didn't even see the door. It was sitting there right in front of them. You ever seen Labyrinth? You ever seen the movie Labyrinth?
dude, I have to go. I have such a long list of movies I have to watch. That's on it. I know.
So there's a great scene, right, where she's trying to get into the labyrinth, and she meets this little worm. Okay, and she's just run like this really long corridor where she can't make a turn left or right, and she's just going, like it's just this long sequence of her running and running and running, and she finally just like kind of like collapses in exhaustion and frustration, and then this little worm comes out of the crack in the wall that she like is leaning up against in her tired defeat, and and she's like, I just can't. And it's he's a talking worm, obviously, because it's a fantasy movie, and she's like, I just can't get anywhere. I can't go anywhere. And he's like, well, there's a doorway right there. And she goes, no, there isn't. It's just a solid wall. But then the camera kind of moves a little bit so that you see that what she was looking at was another corridor. But because the bricks, the way they were laid out, it looked like it was just solid wall up against the rest of the brick. And when she looks slightly to the left or the right, you can kind of see that, oh, there's a doorway right through. And I've just been missing them all because I haven't been looking at things the right way. You know? So that's what I think orange pilling really is. If you're going to engage in the activity of orange pilling, you're trying to show people the world, especially and specifically the world of money, is not the world you think it is. There are doorways that you aren't even seeing. And so you have to do things like explain what happened in 1910, what happened in 1917. Why is it that the gas that I bought 20 years ago was 75 cents a gallon and now it's almost $3? Like those kinds of moments have to happen for somebody. Now, I agree with you in the sense that you have to be willing to take that journey. If you don't swallow the pill on your own, no one can force it down your throat. But um yeah, anyways, so I think that's
Okay, that's
does
pretty
that
good.
make more sense? Like I'm
It
not really
does.
disagreeing with you, but I think you can orange pill a person or you can at least help them, is what I'm saying.
So all we're doing is showing people the door,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's what I want to do. That was on my. So in future episodes, I just want to throw this out there. I want to do an episode where like you interview me on my Bitcoin story, and then I do the same thing to you,
Ooh, that would be
right?
fun.
I think that'd be cool because we both have our own stories, even though they're kind of like obviously we've been through different paths. And I say that because this is another thing I wanted to tell you, dude. When we first started Bitcoin, and I was just listen, I did the most annoying thing to you, and it was the only thing I knew how to do. I just kept telling you you don't get it yet, and it bugged you so much.
So much hated it.
And I can't believe that we are where we are now. Back then, I thought it was inevitable that you would just obviously get to the point where you see Bitcoin is all that matters, and all these other shitcoins don't matter. No other, like nothing else matters really when you break it down. It's just here. This is the world. Here is Bitcoin. Everything else is shit, and Bitcoin is just part of that, like part of the universe that's gonna make it better. But there's so many. So I just thought everybody was gonna get there. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm realizing there's gonna be a large portion of people that never ever do end up getting orange pilled, and that's something I've been trying to get around my head. Is like, oh, that's so sad. I feel sorry for these people. Like you talk to,
See, I'm opposite. I'm angry. Like, and you know
oh,
what? I want to
I
invent
was
a new
angry for.
term. I want to invent
Okay,
a new term right now. You and I, we get to coin this term. We invented it right here today. Brown pilling. You're brown pilled when you start to realize what you just said. Because I think when you first get orange pilled, you're like, I got to tell everybody. Everyone's got to get on this life raft. I really believe in this, and you just go to town, right? And then I think it's got to. I want to see more people before I can make a declarative statement, but I think there does come a point in every Bitcoiner's life. I think there has to, where what happens is what you just said. You start to realize I can't save everybody because it's not because I can't or not because I'm not trying. It's because they don't want to. They don't
they're
want to
just
see.
not. Yeah,
So I'm
it's
calling that
crazy.
I'm calling that brown pilling. That's the brown pill.
It's sad, man.
It's I had it today. Was it today or this week? I don't remember
So
what
it
it
was
was.
today. You made a post, and I was like, oh yeah. So he's. It's just I've said it before, and I just say there's a path down this orange pilling road that we go on that I think everybody that's here has been on it, and I think everybody's on that path. But one of the I don't know. I don't want to say final steps because it's just where I'm at. Maybe there's further to go. Obviously there is, but part of it comes where you find this Zen moment, and you say, oh, I can't help everybody. Oh, I can't help anybody. All I can do is show them the door. You can't push them through it.
No, it's true.
So I actually have a friend. So this is why I wanted to bring it up. So I've been in Bitcoin since December. I've been waiting for people to start asking me. I'm like, oh, everybody's going to start asking me because this is revolution. We're all changing the world. Everybody's going to start screaming at me, oh my God, help me, help me. And that didn't happen.
Mhm.
But now I do have, count them, one, two, three, four people that I'm in active conversations with semi regularly that are like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? And so,
As in, like they're trying to poke holes in it and they're still learning.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
that's
So
good. That's good.
yeah, my sister, one of them, my best friend from college, from one of them, a guy I used to work with, and my wife as well. She's so it's. I'm trying to figure out. Here's my question for you, Doug. You've been attacked by me, and well, whether you like it or not, I guess my tactics worked, right? I said you just don't get it yet, and that must have made you annoyed enough to somehow get there. Otherwise, maybe you'd still be in the crypto fucking shitcoin casino rabbit hole, which would be a real shame. So, did me saying you just don't get it yet? Did that encourage you to keep looking, or did you just not want to talk to me anymore?
No, I mean, well, you and I have talked about this off, but we should talk about it now because I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with the idea that number one, I think it's important that you said those things, even though it was a shit thing to say, and I still find it annoying. But it's important, and it's number two important in the sense that you didn't stop. Like, um, I'm
But
trying
you
to
kept asking. You kept coming back to me, right? Which was very important.
right. And I'm trying to remember exactly when my aha moment was with shitcoins versus Bitcoin. And I know I've said it before and I just can't remember right now. But there was this sort of clarity where I think it was when I was talking with my other people, like the people I was trying to bring on board, and some of them they got it. It like my one buddy, it took him a little while, you know, but he slowly got it. Like first he got into it and then he was kind of into the shit coining phase, although I don't think he ever bought any, so good on him. Good job, Justice. And you know, but I think it was the other two where the one guy had known about Bitcoin for longer than I did. He was in the game longer than I was. And
Yeah, people love saying.
yeah, oh, I've been in crypto for since like 19 or 2015.
I
Okay.
literally okay, my buddy that I was talking to this morning. Sorry to cut you off, but that's
No problem.
literally what he said. He's like, I started. You're telling me that I'm just learning. I started researching, and I love you, Chris. But he's like, I started learning about Bitcoin when it was $500, and I was mining Doge, and I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. But like, and I don't want to make him angry, so I went the same route as I went with you. I was just like, I don't know. I guess you just don't get it yet. Like, keep trying. You'll get there. I have faith in you. And he's like,
Right.
well, you're just being a dick. I'm like, fuck.
Right. And
Maybe this isn't the right
that's
tactic.
what you get. And that's why I don't talk to the other two guys because I just turned into this dick who was like, you guys really don't understand what you're doing right now, you know? And for me, it became I got so orange pilled and Bitcoin maxi that nothing else makes sense to me anymore. And that's I it's just it's very how do I say this without pissing everybody off, I guess. I don't know,
No,
man. I
do it.
just
Just say whatever. This is our podcast.
yeah, I
People are
know. I
listening to
know. I
this.
just I just here's the
I'm a
thing.
big.
If you're sitting there right now and you got some Bitcoin maybe, okay? And maybe you have some Doge because it was funny or whatever, and then you're hearing all this cool stuff about ETH. Just understand. Well, first of all, pause this podcast. Go buy the Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Ammous. Ammous, pretty sure that's how you say his last name. Go look it up. The Bitcoin Standard. I just started reading it. I'm about 5 chapters in. It's
Oh, nice.
brilliant. Honestly,
I'm
absolutely
jealous of
brilliant.
you.
Um, just really, really smart. You'll feel smarter having read it. You really will. And then and then when you're done, you can unpause this, and I can say the next part, which is, if you're in shit coins, or if you like to call them altcoins, I'll even do that for you, just not to offend you. The point is, all you're doing is you're playing a stock market. And when we say you don't get it, here's why. Bitcoin maximalists don't look at cryptocurrency as a investment in the same way that you would invest in the stock market, or you would invest in some sort of REI or mutual funds. That's not what we view Bitcoin as. Bitcoin is a preservation of our value. We invest in Bitcoin because we think our time is valuable and we don't want it wasted. That's what it comes down
or
to.
gambled on.
Or, well, but if you're gambling with your time, as in literally gambling like at a casino or the stock market, you're gambling with your time. That's what you're doing. And I know there are going to be people out there, because they're going to say, "Well, I've learned to read the charts, and I can
Hmm.
I can predict with a certain level of certainty which way the markets are going to move, and I time my payments." Okay, yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Some people want to sign up for courses to read charts.
Maybe some of us did, but
Dude,
the
okay,
point
so
is, well, no, wait. But the
yeah,
point
yeah.
is, did your little charts tell you that Elon Musk was going to tank the market for a month? No, didn't do that. So what you're doing is you're gambling. If you're into anything other than Bitcoin, you are gambling. If you're into Bitcoin, and if you're not looking at it as a vehicle to increase your fiat wealth, if you're just looking at it, because this is the way I look at it, and Jeff, you can agree or disagree, but I look at Bitcoin. I had this actually. Somebody asked me I made a comment actually. Who was that guy? Russell Brand is starting to get into crypto,
I know,
and
I'm
I
so
made
excited.
a comment to him on his it just came out today, on his latest video, and I said, you really need to read the Bitcoin Standard. Like, it's a very good book and you should do it. And so all these people were kind of coming at me. And this one guy was like, well, so what you're saying is, because he wanted to, he wanted me to like explain how I got Bitcoin. And I thought he was asking how to buy it, like literally how to purchase. And then he was like, so what you're saying is that you give these people your money, and then they hold your money, and you have a bunch of ones and zeros on a computer. And I'm like, no, I mean, yes, but no, because what I've done is I've traded what I consider to be less valuable material for more valuable material. And I'm going to keep that more valuable material because I think it's a better use of the money that I spent a lot of hard energy getting. I think this
Yeah.
is a better way to maintain that energy that I put into obtaining it. So that's that's the difference. We don't look at Bitcoin as a way to increase our fiat wealth. This is a revolution of philosophy. I really do believe Bitcoin is a philosophy first, and a way to maintain your value and wealth second. Once you understand the philosophy and you buy into the philosophy, nothing else makes sense. It really doesn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say people need what I realized was that Bitcoin was discovered. I mean, it's never gonna be undiscovered now that we've found it. Didn't matter really. Satoshi found it, so that's great, but anybody could have found it. It wasn't created. It was, here is this math that is true in the universe that we live in. Here is this math that is true in the universe. A circle has 360 degrees, and a day has 24 hours. All these numbers, they're just true, whether you can't do anything about
Gravity,
it. Gravity exists, things fall down.
whether you
2 plus
like it or
2
not, right?
equals 4, and there's 21 million Bitcoin, and this is how it this is how it works.
Well, again, I
It's
think
pretty
I think
cool.
it's I think you're oversimplifying it, because honestly, the the thing that was discovered was the ability to put what was true into a mathematical formula that became the algorithms of Bitcoin, right? That was what was discovered, or if you want to call it invented. Everything else, though, everything past that discovery, that's somebody's interpretation of the truth. You know what I'm saying? Is that too
No.
hardcore? I don't know. Like
Well,
every other shitcoin, every other altcoin is an interpretation of truth. And so you're
no,
going to
it's
get
just
somebody else's take on what truth is. You know what I'm saying?
no, I wouldn't even. I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
say
say
it
that?
like that. I
Okay.
would say. I would say if Bitcoin is like fire or water or math, these are things that exist in our universe, and shitcoins are just all of them are just get rich quick schemes that some of them will work and some of them won't. It's they're not even in the same category. Like if Bitcoin becomes worth, listen, we can just say gold. If Bitcoin didn't exist, I'm almost 100% sure that I, at this point in my life, would be throwing all of my money into gold or silver or some other form of store of value because that's what's more important is just storing your time and energy spent in something that's not going to depreciate over time. And what is happening is that the currency that people are saving in is depreciating, and everything else, even gold, everything, real estate, all of it's going down in value against Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only thing you can hold that
Well, yes, I mean
stays
I do have a
stays true to
problem.
itself.
I have a problem with that
Oh
particular
wait, no, yeah, I
what
didn't say that right. Okay,
yeah,
this
go ahead.
this is what it is. This is what it is for me. Is that you get to value your Bitcoin for whatever you think it's worth. That's what I think, right? So I
Mhm.
don't care that a chart says right now Bitcoin is trading at whatever it is. I haven't looked for more than, I don't know, 12 minutes, but it was like 38 or whatever. I don't care that it's worth 38,000. I'm not selling my Bitcoin for 38,000 US dollars because I never want US dollars because they're
Right,
useless.
right.
I can't do
And
shit with
that is
those.
a big philosophical difference, I think. Like if you talk to I'm gonna try to be nice this episode, okay? Justice for this episode. Every other episode gloves are off, but because I do want to I want to try to orange peel people, even though I've already been brown pilled. Okay. If you talk to any other altcoiner, they're going to say, well, this altcoin is worth this much, blah blah blah, and they'll presumably they're going to use USD or maybe British pounds. No one will ever use the loonie, just for the record. Um, but so they're always thinking in terms of how many dollars can I put in my pocket. And I've reached the point already where what I'm doing as a leather worker, for those of you that don't know, I have a leather company and I make leather products and I sell them. I'm trying to figure out what is this product? Like let's say I make trying to look around the shop here. I make a tote, right? A little leather tote for the ladies. Okay. What is this worth in Bitcoin? That's what I'm interested in. Because that's a value that it can't go down. You know what I'm saying? Like it can never be. If I say that this tote bag is worth 10,000 satoshi, okay? No one can ever come along and devalue what my satoshi is worth. That's what it's worth. And and we are at a price exploration phase for Bitcoin still in terms of what the actual value is, not what the price is in dollars, but what are people going to settle on in when we get down to, and the very first episode we ever did, right, we were talking about hay and ducks. That's one of my favorite episodes because we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we're just kind of like just trying, just trying to make sense of this world.
Still just trying.
Still just trying, yeah. But we had hay and ducks, and we were saying, look, I can get 5 ducks for a bushel of hay or whatever. That's where we're at right now with Bitcoin. We're just trying to figure out how many ducks does this much Bitcoin get me, you know? Whereas altcoiners are saying, how many US dollars will this particular thing get me? Whatever it is, ETH or Hex or whatever.
So you know what's also
Go
what's
ahead.
interesting about dollars is that this was the one of the big aha moments for me was that with dollars, all you're doing, well, most people, I'm gonna go ahead and say most people save dollars to buy things that they want that'll make them happy. And I guess this is kind of hippy dippy, like money doesn't buy you happiness, but people try to do it anyway. So for instance, before I found Bitcoin, I was like, okay, I'll save up $500 and I'm going to buy a PS5 and that's going to be so exciting and I'll be so happy. I now have enough money in Bitcoin. If I wanted to, I could buy a PS5. But I'm choosing not to because it's just not it's just not worth it to me right now. Like my Bitcoin is worth like $500 in Bitcoin is worth way more than a PS5 at this point. I'll
But
just wait
what
till it
is
goes
that,
down in
right?
value.
That's the philosophical aspect of it. Because what you've done is, and this is not for anybody listening, and you think that we're just, I don't know, whatever, just spouting off. I Part of the orange pill process is this idea that what you've been taught about money for the last 100 years has, without being too, I don't know,
Stop worrying about what you're
right,
saying.
right,
Just
right.
say
Okay, so
shit, man.
right, what it's been for the last 100 years has been on purpose to misinform you. Every did you want to say something?
No, sorry, I clicked the wrong button there.
so so the point is if you don't look at your dollars in your pocket and you go, this cost me 3 hours of my life to get these $3 or whatever, this amount of dollars, and I'm going to trade this amount of dollars for this gallon of milk or this gallon of gas or this PS5. If you don't look at money that way, I'm here to tell you that's been on purpose. You have been taught erroneous uh, perceptions of money, and you haven't been taught what money really is. Money, whether and I don't care what it is. Okay, I don't care if it's seashells or shiny beads or dollar bills, U.S. or dollar bills, Britain, whatever, uh, or Bitcoin. Money is a representation of the amount of life you have spent to get that thing. That's what money is. And if you don't understand philosophically why Bitcoin is better than US dollars and better than altcoins, it's not really your fault. It's only your fault if you keep living in that mode. Does that make sense? Am I saying that
Absolutely,
well?
dude. So I completely agree with that. Most people are poor and getting poorer right now, but we've been so used to being poor for so long that you lose this hope of ever being rich per se, and then you want to be rich. But then what Bitcoin did was realize, oh, it doesn't, like, I don't want to be rich. If your end goal is to be rich so that you can do things so that you have more time to do stuff, well, just start doing the things you want to do now. That's what I started doing. So it, it was one of my realizations when I worked for the last 8 or 9 years, like 18 hours a day, just stupid hours working construction. I was definitely a workaholic looking back. And I was just like, I just want to make more money so I can have a better life, so I can make more money so I can have a better life. And I need more money. Oh my God, I'm so broke. And at the end of the week, you've made some weeks you make like $2,000 because you work literally 5 hours sleeping and then you work in the rest of the time. Oh yeah, I have $2,000. Okay, well I'm gonna buy whatever, an Xbox and a bottle of liquor and something fancy and a nice dinner, and then at the end of the week you have no money again. So you used your whole week's worth of time and energy to make money to spend it on shit that you don't need, and then you just wasted all that time when really my end goal for me was always I just want time to I just want to enjoy my life, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna. Once I found out what Bitcoin was, right away I was like, oh, I don't, I don't even need Bitcoin to do this. All I need to do is stop working like a maniac. And right then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna work at 5 in the morning. I'm gonna go to work at 9, and then when I'm at work, I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of my day. I'm gonna only do jobs that I want to do. When I'm doing them, I'm gonna put my most effort in and make something awesome, and then when I'm done for the day, I'm going to go home and I'm going to enjoy my day. That all you have to do is live for the moment that you're I mean, it's like
Okay.
depression
Okay.
comes from looking back,
Let
anxiety
me
comes from moving forward, and living in the now, you just that's where you can find peace and serenity in your life and just not be so stressed out all the time. So that, but so anyways, bringing it back to Bitcoin, with
Well, let me
Bitcoin,
let
you
me ask
real
you a question then. Let me ask you a
okay.
question based on that. How somebody's sitting here listening and they're saying, "Okay, but I could do that with dollars. Why can't I do that with dollars?"
So you can do it with dollars. All you have to do is lower your living expectations. Like right now, if I hated my job, I could quit my job. But then you just have to deal with the repercussions, right? You have to say, okay, well, that means I can't afford my rent anymore. So I'm going to have to live on the streets, which is fine if you can find a way to do that, or maybe move to a country that's cheaper, or not eat for a couple days. But if you want to do those things and you break it down to, okay, well, I do want to be able to pay my rent and I do want to be able to have a meal every day. Well, then, okay, so I do need money. Okay, so I need a job. So get a job that you like doing and make dollars and then spend those dollars only where you need them. The benefit with Bitcoin is that if you do that with dollars, you're going to notice that everything you're buying with your dollars is getting more and more expensive. And everything you're buying with Bitcoin is getting less and less expensive. For example, if you, and that's what I noticed. And I mean, in the very short term, this isn't true, but in the long term, it's aggressively true that if you save your money in Bitcoin and you don't need to buy anything other than your bare essentials, rent, food, water, then you just save your money in Bitcoin and you're able to pay your rent. Well, in a year from now, if your money is saved in Bitcoin, you'll have more freedom to buy more food or just have it saved for when your kid is 18 and he doesn't have to work a job that he doesn't like at all. He'll be able to do whatever he wants because everything gets cheaper against Bitcoin. Whereas with dollars, you're going to have to keep working harder and harder and faster to make more dollars to pay for the exact same thing that you were buying.
And
So,
and we need to be very clear. If you can say, "Oh, that's, that's I guess I'm kind of playing part me and I'm part the audience tonight." But you can say, "Oh, that's garbage because I'll just make more money as I get older, so that'll compensate for any loss." If you look at it, if you and this is kind of what orange pilled me. The biggest thing that orange pilled me was two graphs. One was the graph of how much money they printed last year in the United States. 20% of every dollar ever printed by the United States was printed last year. And we're on track to do that again this year. The other chart was how much value the dollar has lost in terms of purchasing power in the last 100 years. It's gone from basically 95% kind of to zero in terms of what I could buy for a dollar. Uh, no, wait, no. What I could buy for a nickel 100 years ago will now cost me a dollar. And when you start to look at that over a longer period of time, and this is what frightens me for people who don't get orange pilled, is they're running and they're saving and they're putting their money in places where it's this elusive hidden tax that they don't even see happening. And then they get to the end of their road and they want to retire or they just want to take it easier. They don't want to run so hard and they can't live. They can't buy the things they wanted to buy because you know what? A stick of wood costs, or you can't build a house with it. You can't build that dream vacation home you wanted because the value of your dollar has been stripped away. Or the fancy meals that you always promised yourself when you just had the time and you just had the money, you're never going to get them because you can't afford it. The cost of labor has gone up so dramatically that the restaurateurs have had to raise their price, and the cost of beef is through the roof, and you can't even find chicken wings anymore. And like we're seeing it in real time right now, which is why I'm kind of surly about it these days because we're literally seeing what's happening with fiat in real time right now, especially in the United States. I don't know what's happening in other places. I assume it's kind of similar, but we're seeing these massive spikes. And yeah, some of it had to do with the virus of unspecified origin, right? Fine, but there's something else going on, and people really need to be more aware of what's happening to their hard-earned time. You can't get time back. Once you spend it, time is this reserve pool that everybody has, right? Everybody gets so many years and so many awake hours. That's it. That's all you're allotted. And once you start spending that, it's you can't recover it. It doesn't come back to you. So if you're spending all this time chasing something that basically decays, put it this way: if every coin was made, like actual money was made in, I don't know, food. Like, let's say you got paid in bananas, you know? I don't know why that popped into my head, but it did. Let's say every week you got paid in bananas. You wouldn't accept that. You would think that's preposterous. Why? Because all my bananas are rotting by the end of the week. They're gone. They're disappearing. That's what's happening to your dollar. It's rotting. It's evaporating. And it's happening to you at a much slower pace than bananas. I'll give you that, but it's still happening. So all the time that
Pretty close though.
right, especially given our current governments in the last few years, they're just spending it like it's nothing, and so if you were paid in bananas, you would absolutely you would say, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to find another method, and that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Is right now your dollar is rotting away. That's what's happening. And so by the time you get to 40 years from now, honestly, you could go ahead, you could chase all the altcoin fiat currency gains you want. $1 million 20 years from now won't buy you anything. It won't. It just won't. It's just
It's true.
statistically, mathematically, it's not going to happen. So you better you better start looking for things that don't rot away. And that's, I think, the best way to, in fact, I want to start using that phrase more often. The dollar is rotting, because I think that puts a picture, hopefully, in your head. Go ahead, picture a dollar. Just picture it like, shriveling up, turning black at the edges, flies land on it, whatever. I mean, like that's what's happening to your dollar, kids. Just
And then
telling you.
just remember that it's your time that you're spending to earn that dollar. So
Right.
you're spending your time. This isn't something I said. I think this is something I heard from Anthony Pompliano, to bring it back to the time thing, is that there are, in your life, you basically get, well, pretty much everybody gets 2 billion seconds. There's 30 in 1 billion seconds is 31 years, right? So when you're born, if you live to 90, you get 3 billion seconds. If you live to 60, you get 2 billion seconds. If you're 30 years old right now listening to this, then you've already used 1 billion seconds of your life, right? You're already halfway through. And what have you done with them? And have you made them count? And what have you traded them? What have you traded them for? Have you traded them for
That's the
dollars?
big thing. That's the
Right?
big thing for me.
So you're working for a fair amount of those seconds, and you're getting something in return for your energy spent. And if the thing you're getting in return for it is dollars, well then yeah, like Doug said, it's just rotting away. Whereas if you put it into something like Bitcoin, then at least it's staying solid. It's like, here's what this is worth. And I guess to understand, you have to understand the logic behind Bitcoin and why it stays solid, and how it is,
And we've
why
covered a lot of
scarcity.
that. We've
Yeah,
covered a lot of that.
but yeah, at the end of the day, what you're trading your seconds for is important. And if you're not, and we've never, okay, so this is the other cool thing about Bitcoin. We've never had another option. For all of humanity's past, you've had the option to trade it for a fiat currency. I guess in the past they did have gold and silver coins, but
Yep,
it was
it
still
did.
controlled by the kings and queens of those empires, right? So you never, the the normal individual living his life, if not royalty, didn't get to choose what his energy was put into. I guess unless you go far back enough where it was just a few people running around, and but if you go to any,
You haven't read the Bitcoin Standard, have you?
no, but dude, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. Have you I know I have to read it, but have you
You
listened
really do.
to Have you listened to What Is Money with Breedlove and the Sailor series?
No, I really do, I have to get into
Oh,
that one.
dude. Okay, so that's what I've been listening to lately. Which I don't know if anybody's listening to this and that has listened to that. You're probably just gonna be like, oh, he's just quoting whatever Breedlove and Sailor say, which is basically what I'm doing. But they orange pilled the fuck out of me. So you know what I mean? Like you listen to this shit and it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. So
Well, one of the nice thing
put your money
about
somewhere where it's not gonna rot away. I
right,
guess.
yeah. Yeah, no, I was just going to say that one of the nice things about being part of the Maxi community is that yes, it's a uh, um, it's a group effort, as it were. You know, somebody comes up with an idea other people can harness on. They build on that. You know, so yeah, we're probably going to quote people like Safadine and uh, Sailor and probably not Pomp, but
Yeah, but no, like
Breedlove. You know, and
Gigi is going to be on the show eventually. Have you looked
Gigi,
into Gigi's stuff? God, that
Surfer
guy's
Jim. I
amazing.
mean,
Surfer
Surfer
Jim
Jim,
too.
Brecky. Like we've actually had some really cool minds on this that are they're building on the, even Heartland Bitcoin, right? I mean, he is building on this too in his own
You
way,
hear
and
that,
it's like,
Dan? Even you, dude. Even you.
no, I'm not even going to say you this time. Um, so people are this space is good for that in the sense that there's a lot of um it's well, I mean, Bitcoin is kind of new. It's this new discovery, right? And it's only what, 12, 13 years old, right? Is that right?
Yeah, 2009.
2009 so God, only 11 years old? Is that right?
12. I think we're going on
That'd be
12.
12. That'd be 12. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's crazy
So
how
of course there's going to be
few.
I'm just saying there's of course is going to you're going to be slightly derivative, it's just
But what I've realized is how few true Bitcoin maxis there are. I really that was my that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this because I thought everybody would just obviously go down the path to become a maxi, but I don't think a lot of people have. There are very few people in this world that have actually been orange pilled. I think there's way less than me or you think, because when you look at crypto Twitter or you look at crypto YouTube, there are hundreds of thousands of
tons,
people.
tons.
And when you look at like Bitcoin Twitter, I've noticed, dude, there's like 12 people. There's like Breedlove, Sailor, yeah, all the people you said, Brecky, all
Us,
these
we're
people,
up, we're there,
us.
we're doing it.
There's, but there's not that many, and you just have to. So, and it's so good being on this side because McCormack just had a podcast with Weinstein. I haven't listened to it yet, but there's a quote that came out of it where Eric Weinstein's like, "Well, maybe Bitcoiners are all just geniuses and everybody else is a fucking idiot." And I'm like, "Yeah, this guy gets it. That's exactly."
Wait, who's
So
Weinstein? I saw the
I don't
who
even
is he?
I
Who is
don't
he?
even know who he is, dude. I read that and I was like, "Oh yeah, this guy's saying it like it is." I guess he was. I found out afterwards that he was saying it sarcastically because I guess he's against Bitcoin. But once you're orange pilled, you read that, you're like, "Yes, that's what it is. Everybody's a fucking idiot." Like, just
Well, no,
learn.
no, and I don't want
No.
to say that. I don't want, but what I do want to
I know
say
it's
is,
aggressive.
I know and I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm really trying very hard to not be Bitcoin total maxi right now. Because while you were talking, I was thinking about this. The friends that I have, I guess, lost right because of my Bitcoin maxi ways.
Rip.
They all both of them said I make money in altcoin and then I convert it to Bitcoin. And so, by their own actions, they've already admitted that Bitcoin is a superior holder of wealth. But I'm thinking about it now and I'm realizing they're still not getting it. Like even though their actions say they get it, they still don't. Like, okay, so I don't agree with playing the lottery. I've never really done it. I think I've maybe bought like 3 scratch offs my entire life, just for whatever reason, right? I play poker because I enjoy playing against a person. I don't gamble. I've never enjoyed blackjack. I don't play slots. I've never played slots. I don't enjoy that. So that just kind of gives you like a little psych 101 on my interpretation of what is fun and what isn't. I do enjoy poker and playing against a person, but that's not what altcoins are. Well, actually, no, it is. You really actually, the more I think about it, you are, but you don't see that person across the table from you. You can't read their tells. It's totally different. Anyways, bad analogy. My point is that even though these people are quote unquote playing the alt market and they're making money, and they're making money, but philosophically, they don't understand what they're doing. And I think that's always been a problem of mine. It's like I don't care what you do. I really don't. I'm very hands off when it comes to other people. Live your life, do what you got to do, but know why you're doing it. You know what I mean? If you're playing the alt market because you want to just gobble up a lot of money, you just want to have lots and lots of money. I don't. That doesn't appeal to me. You know, in the same way that I could never be a stock market trader. I don't. I don't. I mean, I don't even know where I'm going with this right now. I'm emotional because I do kind of mourn the loss of these friends. And it wasn't my doing, for the record. Um, they just stopped. They just disengaged completely.
Well,
They
here
don't talk to
I
me.
think I think what it is when you're trading altcoins. There's okay. This happens. Like for me, there's a few different points to hit. Number one, you're not adding value to Bitcoin. All you're doing is moving money around. So congratulations. Instead of person Steve over there, instead of him having 0.02 Bitcoin, now you have it. You haven't added anything. You've just traded. So congratulations, you made a good trade or you made a bad trade. Uh, if you love trade, and it comes back to spending your days and your seconds how you want to do it. If you really love watching these charts and trading at the right time, if you really love doing that, then by all means do it. I just couldn't bring myself to sit in front of a computer, care about every different shitcoin when it's going to trade. Also, as you said, gamble because you don't know for sure. And I've seen over the past few days, I think there's been two or three now that have been like, I've been trading crypto for a few years now. I made more money last month than I made in years of working my labor job, and I just lost it all in one trade. So there's big traders that are losing lots and lots of money because it's just a gamble at the end of the day. So, secondly, on your point, where you said that you're not a gambler, I was a big gambler when I was younger. I went to the casino. I loved blackjack. I liked playing sickbo, roulette. I don't know. I got a rush from it. And I ended up losing a lot of money one night, everything I had. It wasn't like a life changing amount of money to a kid when I was, I don't know, 19. It was, I don't know, a couple $1,000, whatever. It was a lot of money to me back then. And that made me sad. And I was like, okay, this is stupid. I have to stop doing that. So once I realized what Bitcoin was, Bitcoin is the most boring thing you can hold. It's like it's the least risky asset that you can hold. Like storing your money in Bitcoin is super duper boring.
And I
It's
want to
just
jump.
there
I
it
want to
is.
jump on what you just said there. Is that you said earlier? You said you don't add value, and that's my problem with shitcoins. And I'm going to call them shitcoins now. When you make money at a shitcoin, you're making money because someone else is losing money. That's what's happening. There is no other way. There is no value to any of them. Now they make very good arguments in their white papers, and I've read about a half a dozen other coins white papers since I read the Bitcoin white paper. My Bitcoin goes up in value, quote unquote, against the dollar because other people are buying in. I'm not making money off of that because I'm not selling it. It's just that it's going to create more purchasing power. Okay, that's fine. When you trade an ETH, like I'm gonna wait till ETH goes high and then I'm gonna sell and then I'm gonna go buy back in when it goes low. You are making money because somebody else is losing money, not because there's added value. You didn't add any value to that structure. It's just that somebody else decided to buy your Bitcoin when it was high, and then when they lost their money and they panic sold because it went down again, then you rebuy it back. That's all you're doing. You're not adding to the system. You're not creating value. You are only securing monetary wealth for yourself on the back of somebody else. And that to me is problematic. That is where I part ways. That's truly where I like, cuz even when I saw the problems with the money system and everything else, and I got kind of orange pilled, I did. I bought ETH, and I bought, I think I bought some Litecoin, you know. And then once I started to really think about what was happening, I started to realize the only way this goes up is if a bunch of people buy into it. And the only way I make money is that if I sell it off at a way, or at a point where enough people have bought in that I'm satisfied. But there's no inherent quality to this particular piece of software that is valuable. There is inherent value in how Bitcoin was designed. There is something about it, and that's what makes it unique amongst all the pantheon, the 8,000 other cryptocurrencies out there. There is something different about Bitcoin, and I would strongly encourage, if you are holding any sort of altcoin right now, any sort of altcoin, even as a joke, even as a laugh, right? You bought some Doge because Elon was on Saturday Night Live or whatever. I would strongly encourage you to really think about what do you have? Why is it valuable? You know, and to me that to me that's not worth it. To me, I and like Jeff, I've seen so many people say, the one that was truly heartbreaking, I think it was Brecky that reposted it. It was this woman, you know, she says in her post, and maybe it's bullshit, I don't know, but she's like, you know, I got 3 kids, and I really thought this was my way out, and I really thought that once SNL hit with Elon, that Doge was going to go to the moon, and now it's tanking, and I've lost my savings. Anybody who made Doge made money on Doge, they made money off the back of that woman. That's what they did, and that to me is not something I want to be a part of. You know, I think there are real people behind the numbers. There always have been. And I think part of the problem is that our educational system, our monetary system, our fiscal system, the way we've been brought up to think about money, we don't look at the people behind the money, behind the numbers. And that's problematic to me. And that's what every other shitcoin is. It's a system that perpetuates a system that doesn't see the people behind the numbers. That's problematic for me. The difference here is this. If somebody else gets into Bitcoin, I'm not excited because my wealth goes up. I'm excited because their wealth is preserved. That's exciting to me. I love the fact that my buddy Justice, he's a hard working kid. I'm so proud of that guy. I really am. And he has figured out, and partly because I beat the hell out of him about the head and ears verbally, I said, you got to check this out. He has figured out a way to preserve that hard working aspect of his life. That is awesome. When other people buy shit coins, they only get excited when other people buy in because they know they're going to sell that shit off and make fiat. That, and this is me being a maximalist, that disgusts me. That makes me upset because you're going to sell out from underneath them. You're going to lower their value, and then any sort of time or hardworking aspect that they put into their lives, you just stole it from them. You took it from them. That is problematic to me. And I can't think of a nice way to say it, but if you're in shit coins right now, that's what you're doing. That's how you're making your money. Either that, or you sell every Bitcoin you've ever owned, you never buy it again, and you only hold ETH from here to the eternity, or whatever shitcoin you're into.
There are some people that are like that too, though. That's the crazy thing, man.
Well,
There's some there's
maybe,
some
but
ETH heads out there that think
I
that
don't
the
I don't know
future
how
is
you
so
do. I
silly.
mean, if you do that, then you've basically traded one fiat system for another because ETH has no cap on it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, it will it and Vitalik can make it whatever he wants to. And Doge prints up like 10,000 a day. Like there's no soundness to that monetary system. So then you're just kind of silly. You know, and I'm being nice, but you're being silly. So I don't know, man. I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got to work on making this podcast not such a fucking shit coins fucking suck. It seems like we always go
This is
there.
your
It's
fault.
true. I
This is
know
your
it
fault.
is. We
I
just
could have not been a Bitcoin maxi if you'd let it go.
well, it's so this is the thing, right? So okay, we're talking about orange pilling today. Let's bring it back to the topic at hand. Me and you. Okay, so one question I had for you. I'll speak for myself first. I don't think I'm a good orange pillar. I think I'm not good at explaining why Bitcoin is so awesome. I think I do a much better job at explaining why everything else is shit. And it's like negative reinforcement rather than positive reinforcement. So that's something I want to work on just as a me thing, and maybe you can consider that too, is instead of saying why everything else sucks, I'm trying to figure out how to say Bitcoin is good. It's so like there's so many reasons, right? But it's hard to go down that path. So I'm gonna start working on that.
The problem with orange pilling somebody, to bring it all the way back, is the idea that shitcoins have flashy neon signs above them, right? And Bitcoin just has a simple wooden sign hand painted. You know what I'm saying? Like if and this is the thing, every maximalist will tell you this. If you want to understand Bitcoin, you have to do at least 100 hours of research, reading, listening to podcasts, researching, understanding, reading the white paper. Like if you really want to understand Bitcoin, you have to do that. If you understand ETH, you just have to go look at their fucking commercials basically. Oh, look at it, it's so awesome. I'm going to make so much money. Yeah, and most people will go, I want to make a lot of money. I want to do a lot of money. That's what I want to do. I want to do a lot of money. That's it. And I know that phrase sounds weird, but that's what it looks like to me. I want to do a lot of money. You know, like
Yeah,
that's not what I want to do. That's
yeah,
not what I'm in this for. You know, if you had talked to me 8 months ago, I would have said all cryptocurrency is a scam. I would have told you that. I would have said, don't bother with it. Stay out of it. Just go ahead and buy gold or buy silver. And honestly, I can't even really fault somebody for still wanting to do that. I have silver and gold. I'll hold on to that. That's fine. But I would have said all crypto is garbage. Stay away from it. And I've done the research. I've read the pages. I've listened to the podcast. I've asked people smarter than me, you know, by far, by way farther. I've asked them questions, and you know, you just get to a point where you're like, this is the way. And I don't see another path now. Like you said, like thank God we have Bitcoin because we can have a little hope. We can be a little white pilled on this whole thing. And I don't know,
yeah,
man.
man.
People
I
that want to
think
ignore that, they bother me. They really do. They bug me.
I think one of the main points of Bitcoiners. Oh, this is gonna sound stupid, but they're very humble, right? Like whenever you talk to a Bitcoiner, they're very clear on I want to talk to people that are smarter than me. When you talk to shitcoiners, they'll try and convince you that they're the smartest person and they know everything about their shitcoin. It's like, okay, cool. I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but here's somebody you can listen to. Here's an article you can read. Here's a video you can watch. Here's a dozen books you can read. And every like there's Saif Dean and all these people that have written books, they're still learning. And I'd
Right.
rather talk to
Right.
people that are interested in learning and interested in growing rather than people that think they have it all figured out. Like most Bitcoiners will tell you if they're wrong, then they'll just admit they're wrong. But I feel like most crypto shitcoin people think they're hot shit, man. It's just I don't like those type of people. They're just they're not fun to talk to. So so this podcast is two dudes that admittedly don't know enough about Bitcoin, and we're just sitting here trying to figure it out too, man. Right? So that's all I wanted to do. We just want
Yeah,
to
you
talk
know,
about it
and
and try and figure it out. So
I wanna slightly apologize for my black attitude today. It's just uh, I had I
no, man.
so
Every
one of my
every episode is a rehab episode for
yeah,
us.
it really is. It's this is more therapy than anything else. But one of the guys that you know I tried to orange pill. Uh, I caught him actually shilling something else to somebody else, like a third party today. Like he's moved on to a different shit coin. now. Before he was very much ETH, but now he's moved on to the different shitcoin because
Yeah,
ETH has
forever
tanked.
finding. Yeah, forever
Yeah,
finding the new
and
best
but
stuff.
now he's trying to convince somebody else to not only invest in it, but to buy hardware to mine it. And that was just such a like it was heartbreaking is what it was. Like, look, if you want to make bad decisions in your life, that's fine. That's okay. Because that's the way life is, right? And if you don't want to listen to me because I'm some crazy old man, that's fine too. You know what? I'll live, right? But if you're gonna drag somebody else down, that's just that is low, in my opinion. That is
There's a lot of shitty
absolutely,
people out there, man.
yeah, that's just
There's,
that's just not cool. And so I guess if you're an altcoiner, if you're a shitcoiner, that's fine. Be a shitcoiner, be an altcoiner. Don't drag other people down with you. Because here's the thing. Again, here's what I said before, right? Your shitcoin only goes up if somebody else buys into it. And you only make money if somebody else buys into it. I could give a shit if somebody else buys Bitcoin, honestly, ever again. Because you
yeah,
know
that's
what? I know
yeah,
there's enough people out there. I can literally do trade with my Bitcoin. I could trade my time, my efforts for Bitcoin, and I could purchase time and effort from somebody else for Bitcoin. And I'm happy with that. I'm 100% fine with that. If I never spend another US dollar again and I only ever spend Bitcoin and I only ever receive Bitcoin, that's fine with me. The only way you make money with a shitcoin is if somebody else loses their fiat dollar. That's how it works.
and shitcoiners are they're just trying to get out of working too. Like, if you think trading is work, it's not work. You're just gambling. The best way to make money is to add value to the world that you're living in, and that's what you're doing with your leather work. It's what I think I do with what I build and create. That's actually adding value to the world that's worth something, whereas just trading crypto is okay, congratulations, you're not working. Like, you're trying to get out of working. But if you love what you do, you're not trying to get out of working. Like, I'm not trying to get out of renovating. You're not trying to get out of leather work. You're like, oh, I can't wait till I never have to make enough
Right.
leathers
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So enjoy your life, just do what you want to do, and it'll be better. So yeah, life can be okay so long as you find Bitcoin. Just do it. Stop being an asshole. Just
Maybe what we
like
need to
Bitcoin.
do on this podcast is we need to have the heartwarming story at the end so that
Yeah, that
so
might be a
that
good
so
idea.
that we can be completely negative and then kind of like put a nice little bow on it at the end or whatever. But
Hey, well, we have a heartwarming story for the end then.
okay, all right.
A heartwarming story is the price check.
Why Bitcoin presents your weekly price check.
That's a fun heartwarming story. Let's
Oh
take a look at
crap!
the.
I don't have any of those numbers, dude. I don't have any of the numbers. Do you remember any of them from last week?
No, I never write them down. If you've been paying attention, hopefully you can keep track of what our scores were from last week.
I
Uh,
think I think I have yours right here. Actually, I just picked it up.
okay, perfect.
Did you say 33,000 last week?
I might have said something around that range, dude. And we actually went
Okay.
down there too, didn't we? Okay, so every week on the show, Doug and I make a guess for what the price of Bitcoin is going to be the following week. It's just for funsies. We're both just waiting until Bitcoin hits 100,000, then we're going to sell out. Can't wait till that day comes.
Absolutely, I'm going to sell it all, baby.
We're going to be millionaires. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh,
I can't even
Bitcoin.
do that with a straight face,
It's
honestly.
so silly, eh? It's just so silly. But it's still good to see what the price is for. If you're new and listening to this podcast, maybe it's still part of something that you think is exciting. I don't know, man. We gotta find a way to be more cheerful. Bitcoin is exciting. It's good. Bitcoin is happy. It really is. All we do is shit on shitcoins. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Next week our goal is to not shit on shitcoins. That's gonna be
Well,
tough.
hopefully what happens is next week somebody listens to this and they just give us your good Bitcoin story of the week. Like, I wasn't into it, but now I am, or I saw the light, whatever. I mean, I bought Saifedean's book, whatever. I mean, just something. You know what I'm saying? Like, pull
Yeah.
us out of the void, please. Like, we're asking you now to be part of the team, as it
That would
were.
be good. So next week we actually have a guest coming on. I'm excited.
Oh, do
Uh,
we? Who do we
yeah,
have?
if you're listening to this podcast now, go check out. I guess this price check will be brought to you by the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast, uh, hosted and co-hosted two guys just like us. They're two guys talking. Joey is the main guy, and Len is the, I guess,
Oh,
secondary
wait,
guy.
are they're Canadian? So I'm going to be outnumbered 3-1.
Well, it's just going to be Joey that's coming on, so
Oh,
it'll
okay.
be cool. But
Oh,
you still will
he's
be
not tight enough
outnumbered.
with his co-host to get him
No,
both in.
well, it's just it's nice to have three, right? It's nice to have three.
I'm just
So
saying, I'm an American. I'm here to yeehaw and kick ass. So I will. I'll take
whatever.
3 Canadians on. That'll be
Yeah,
fine.
dude. I don't know, man. I don't care that I'm Canadian, but imagine there's no countries. Anyways, so
Shut up, hippie.
this price check is brought to you by the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast. If our podcast is for a pre-coiner, theirs is more about the news stories of the week, kind of keeping you up to date with what's happening in the world of Bitcoin, which is good to see. Joey is much more intelligent in knowing about stocks and the prices of. This guy's a pretty smart dude for what he knows. So I'm excited to talk to him. It's gonna be fun. We'll talk to him about
Oh,
his
I'm looking forward
Bitcoin
to it. I
story and
just didn't
stuff.
realize that was next week already. That's cool.
I know it's happening quick. And then yeah, if you're listening to this, we're gonna aim to have one guest on every month. So I guess it'll be the second. Well, whenever it happens, it happens. But we got some kick-ass guests lined up for the next little while. I'm excited about that. Maybe we'll do it every 2 weeks, or I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, next week, Joey from the Canadian Bitcoiners podcast. Check it out. Good stuff. Learn about what's going on in the world of Bitcoin. Uh, with a few jokes here and there, and some really good info and intel on the world. You want to take a look at what the price of one Bitcoin equals?
Yeah. Hang on 2 shakes. Let me see if I can pull up last week's at all. No, I can't. Never mind.
Okay.
I meant to do it. I didn't.
I think I was 33. I think you're right. I was 33. And then I'm trying to
All
think,
right.
were you?
So the notes that I have are that then. All right. We'll pretend like maybe we're copying. Who cares? Whatever.
That's fine.
Um.
We'll just say I won.
Honestly, I think you might have. So if you said 33,931.
That's why you lost the notes.
No. I've just been a little busy with all
One
my leather
time.
working, man. So,
Yeah.
all right. So if you said
Convenient.
33,000 and I said 46,000, then today I have 37,415.
Yeah, man.
So
37. Cool.
so that's actually I hate to say this, I really do. It kind of hurts my feelings. Jeff, you won this week.
Another winner for the good guys.
Yeah, for the Canadians. Good job.
Feels good, man.
All right. So I still
37,000.
enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun for me. So let's talk
Next
30 seconds to write down what
Yeah,
you think's going to happen next week, and then we'll reconvene and we'll come up with some numbers here.
crap. I don't have a pen. I might just have to.
Don't you dare cheat. I'm going to make you go
Oh,
first so
wait.
you can't cheat.
Yeah, maybe that's a better idea. Here, I'll find a pen.
Guys, never trust a Canadian when death is on the line. Bonus points for anybody. Oh, by the way, if you're in the chat right now, or sorry, whatever, you're just listening and you want to take a guess, go ahead, throw it in somewhere. Email us or.
I think the best way, because you know what, if we're going to be going off YouTube and you want to contact us, any comments, suggestions, complaints, or concerns or questions, the best place to do that would just be to email us at askwhybitcoin@gmail.com, and we'll read all of those emails. That's the easiest way to get at us. Or you can find me at whybitcoinj on Twitter. And Doug, what's yours?
Mine is at Bearded Hodl, BeardedHodl.
Right on. So we want to, we'd love to see comments if you have.
Oh,
any.
we have a joint one too, right? Which one is that? Is that?
Oh yeah,
is
we
that
have
why Bitcoin underscore.
You can also tweet at whybitcoin underscore. Yeah, so let us know what you think of the show, or anything you want to add, or if you love shit coins or hate shit coins. We're in it all. Okay, making a guess for next week.
All right, I'm ready.
Dude, I don't know. I think it's gonna be here.
Dude, I'm putting music underneath this right now in
Okay.
edit. Don't sing. That's weird.
Sorry. I was
All right,
thinking.
go
That's my
ahead.
thinking song. Okay, I have a price of $41,209.41.
Oh my god. Next week is gonna be baller for this game, bro. I have
Ooh.
$42,500.50.
Okay, it's an over under because if
Oh
it
my god, dude.
well, they're
What are we
saying
at? We're not even we're $1,200 apart
that's
for
cool.
next
Well,
week.
that's a big deal because you know what, 42 is like a major break point if you're looking at the charts and stuff.
42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything.
That is
So,
also true. And
mhm.
it's a wall right now for Bitcoin for some reason. I don't know much about that, but if we break 42, then
Eh.
we're going to start screaming up. If we don't, then we're going to hover around 38 for another little while.
You know what? We might, or we might just go to 45 and then go back down to 37. I
That's
don't
true.
care. I
Yeah, we
don't
never
care.
know. We never know. We never know.
Never know, brothers. So,
Okay, cool.
do we have a? Hold on, let me check our show notes real fast. What else do we have?
I think that's it for this
That's
week.
it. No
Oh,
dump down this week, huh?
yeah, I just wanted to do a quick say. There's a Bitcoin Miami conference going on right now. I would love to be there. I think next year I'm going, man. I'm going. We'll be able to go
I
next
think
year.
I cannot not go at this point,
So,
especially because you and I have met and talked to people that are part of the, like kind of the heavier hitters in the space.
yeah,
Like I gotta meet these guys. I gotta have a beer with them, or in case of Surfer Jim, have a steak. Whatever. Um, like they just seem like cool people, man.
absolutely. For
You
me,
know.
it's I was a gamer for a long time. I loved E3, and I always told myself I'd go to E3. And now E3 doesn't exist anymore, and it's just going to be a regret for my whole life. I'm not, and I feel like maybe that was my lesson learned, right? It's like, okay,
Oh,
do the thing you want to do now. So I'm kind of upset that I'm not at the Bitcoin conference now. It is what it is. Next year, I'm fucking going. It's
and
happening
when I
now.
was
There's
when
going to
I
be a
was
lot of
with
cool
Twitch,
talks.
I was trying to do, I was Twitch Wisconsin. Like I was trying to I set up a bunch of meetups in Wisconsin for that.
Oh
So
yeah,
like that's kind of my bag. So what we should do is we should get together with Heartland and we should do Bitcoin Midwest, like Upper Midwest, so you can come down. That would be
yeah,
cool.
that'd be cool.
Like a Bitcoin Minnesota. Is you near Minnesota? No.
I think so. I mean,
What's your nearest state?
assuming I can get out of my country, we're kind of locked
We'll
down right
smuggle you
now.
across the border in a duffel
Like,
bag. It'll be
it's
fine.
crazy that it's
I mean, you're
not
7 foot
up here
tall,
this
but
much.
we'll find a big duffel bag. I'll make you, dude. I will make a big leather duffel bag for you to climb into, and we'll sneak you across the Canadian border. It'll be amazing.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, that'll do it for the show. That this was a good one. I liked it. Let us know if you enjoyed this one. If you're orange pilled yet, if you think we're talking out of our ass, if you think Bitcoin maxis are still assholes and we just don't get it, bro. If you think that's what it
Do you think
is,
that's true?
do I think what's true that there's
Do
people
you
out there
think?
that
Do
think
you
that?
think that we just don't care? Like we're just at a point where we
Dude,
don't give a shit.
I try. I really do my best to try and assess my thoughts as often as possible. And I'm trying to think and I look back and I see a lot of crypto people saying, "Oh, these Bitcoin maxis, they just don't get it. There is a future with crypto." And with that, I've decided that yeah, I mean, I think Ethereum is probably going to be around for a while. Yeah, maybe Chainlink will too. Maybe all these projects will stay around, but that doesn't change the fact that they're not needed in my life. So that point still stands. I don't need Ethereum. I don't need Chainlink. I don't need any of these shit coins. I don't need Cardano. I don't need it. And again, I bring it back to what do I need? Well, I need food, shelter, and water, and then I save the rest. And where do I save it? Well, I save it in Bitcoin. Everything else is useless to me. So yeah, maybe these crypto projects will happen. Maybe people will make a bunch of money. I don't give a fuck about money. So yeah, I that's why I think that I so no, I think I'm right. I still think I'm right to answer your question. Bitcoiners are geniuses. Everybody else is a
For the
fucking
record,
idiot.
I really liked, and I might just re-edit this so that it comes out this way. But your sign off of I need food, I need water, I need a house over my head, and for everything else I just saved for Bitcoin. I think that's a really good way to like sign off on the broadcast. I
Nice.
really do. I think
Okay.
that's a better way to do that. So
I have a okay, so that'll do it for the show. And then I have a better sign off.
Okay, here we go.
I don't even remember how it goes. Shit, I should have wrote it down. Remember, why ask what
No,
when
no,
you can
wait.
ask why?
But you had a new one. Do you have a new one?
No, that's the best one.
No,
Always
it's not the
ask
best
why.
one.
Well, no, it's true though. We have to ask why. Oh, never stop asking why, and always save in Bitcoin, and buy some food and water. What did I say? We're
That's
ruining
fine.
it.
Well,
Maybe you should have quit when we were ahead. Cut.